so good and played so hard for most of the game. And, you're looking at the stats will make you sick, and there's just a lot of things about it. But obviously, we all know, can't turn the ball over. We understand that, and just give them points. And ultimately gave them 17 points, and obviously the difference in the game. And, but I was proud of our guys, had to continue to fight. We got back in it there at the end, and, wasn't able to finish it. But, I think defensively, I thought our guys played outstanding on defense, held them to a field goal on one of the turnovers. And then other than that, I thought stopped the rushing attack. They're one of the better rushing teams out there. Stopped that, held a quarterback in check. They hit 2 deep balls. Those on third downs. That was probably the negative, but I thought they played great. We did not play good in the kickoff and punt game. I thought they got some yards on us in the return game. That was not good. And then offensively, we moved the ball and did some really good things offensively and some individual great efforts. But, again, the turnovers is the difference in the game. It's a difficult one to swallow when you played as hard as you did and, very, very solid football and come away with a loss.
I know it's easy to look at the pick six as kind of like the momentum changer, but was the fumble after it maybe even bigger because that was going to be a chance to kind of answer and erase it?
Yeah, no question. They're both big, obviously, because – the first one, we're up 7 and we're driving. We're in the red zone and we're getting ready to go at 14. And, that's you're talking about momentum now. That's a huge momentum. Even though it's still early in the game, that's a huge momentum for us. Sorsby trying to make a play, and I think it's obviously a learning moment for him. He knows his mistake there, and, he's a competitor. He's a fighter. He's trying to make a play, but there's certain times, you just got to eat it. And but you're right. Even on the next one, he gets the first down, and he fumbles trying to get the first down. But, he felt like, okay, you get that drive going, now you're right back on it. So really back-to-back drives right there was huge in the game. And, you come in, our guys came in at halftime and understand where we're at. Talk about taking it one play at a time in the second half. And they did. They played great. And, we just had, came up a little bit short there at the end. But obviously, and then we get the ball, and then, the ball slips out of the back of his hand as he's trying to throw it away. And the ball goes just a little bit backwards, and they pick it up and run it in, too. It's another unfortunate play when I thought we had a chance to go get the momentum right there on that drive as well.
What are you seeing in terms of the struggles in the passing game? You guys were stretching the field really early in the season. Now, the past 2 games, it's kind of only getting underneath stuff.
Yeah, it's, a couple of times I thought we had some guys open today down behind the defense, just didn't connect on it. I thought they did a good job, dropping a lot of people into coverage today. They were dropping 8. The safeties and corners were getting back. You just got to take what they give you. I think you just can't just throw it deep just to throw it deep. I think so. We're pretty efficient in the passing game today. I thought hit some big plays, but some of the plays, a lot of plays were underneath type stuff. And I think there's just a fine line there. Do you try to push the ball down the field, or do you just take what they give you? And I think we've been more resulting on taking what they give us, and I think, we had some good drives today. We had, 15-play drive, 14-play drives, 12-play drives. We had the 1-play drive the Pryor. That was a big play, trying to free him up down the sideline. So it really ultimately comes back to just taking what they give us.
Brendan had been playing with that glove on. Is there still anything going on with his hand that maybe would have played a part in the turnovers?
No, I don't think so. I think the first one he's just trying to make a play, and then the second one ball just slipped out of his hand. He had the glove on the left hand, so his right hand was fine. He just went to throw that one and just kind of slipped out of his hand.
Scott, how much of that game did Brendan spend trying to get back into a rhythm after those 2 turnovers? It seemed like, end of the first half, he struggled a little bit trying to find rhythm. And early in the third quarter, do you think those 2 turnovers impacted him in any way like that?
Yeah, it probably did a little bit. As a quarterback, you turn the ball over, you want to make right by it. You want to come back out and make a play. And sometimes you do press a little bit more when you come back out. We try to settle him down, try to get some easy throws where we can just get some completions and get back into a rhythm. I thought in the second half there in the third quarter we got back in a little bit of a rhythm, running the football and then making some plays. The Pryor play was a huge play, gave us a lot of momentum on the sideline, I think, as a team, in offense and defense. So, games like this, you just try to grab that momentum back at some point and try to get over the hump. And we got close. We just didn't get over the hump again. It's another turnover there in the fourth quarter that ultimately cost us.
Scott, when you're down 10 and you need 2 scores, what's your strategy as a coach and play caller managing the clock and timeouts, knowing you need 2 scores to tie or win the game?
Yeah, we're trying to save our timeouts because you had to have 2. So we did a good job of getting down the field. We were close to it's a minute and 30 or something like that. We're down there in the red, so we're trying to take some pops. We had to call the timeout. We had legal procedure on the one play, so we had to call a timeout to save time. It was 53 seconds right there to save time on a 10-second runoff. So we're trying to take a couple pops to the end zone. It wasn't there. And to me, you got to score twice. So had it been a lot closer to the goal line, you may go for it. But since it was a little bit further out, let's get our 3 points and let's try to go get this onside kick. We felt good about it. We had 2 timeouts, I think it was 36 seconds, 37 seconds. If we get the onside kick, you're going to get it around midfield. Plenty of time to go score a touchdown. So, I felt like, that last drive, we managed it fine and it gave us an opportunity, a chance.
You've got 3 to get to a postseason. What do you tell the guys after such a difficult one?
Yeah, I mean, it's
the road's not easy.
Yeah, no, but we don't look at that. We're going to look at this game one at a time like we always do. We got Iowa State next week, so we talk about in the locker room just then, hey, coming back to work tomorrow and being consistent in the things that we've been doing consistently, working hard every single day and doing what you have to do that day. You can't look at all 3 games together. We just got to go play Iowa State next week. So we're going to go back to this game like we always do. We're going to look and see the things we got to do better, and go back and try to go win these games. I mean, I feel like we got a good enough team to win all 3 of these games, but we got to take it one game at a time, and we got to play mistake-free football, and do the things it takes to win football games.
How did you feel Mason struck the ball today punting? There was obviously some issues with covering those plays.
Yeah. I mean, we had issues on covering. I think a couple times our gunners got caught up inside. One time, the big return they had on their sideline, our gunner from the field got caught up inside. He was able to get on the outside. Our gunner on this side, was struggling getting off one of their hold-up guys on the outside, number 13. And we just did a poor job with the guys in the middle that are coming to set the net up. We call it a net there that's going to get the punter. And I think that was. We did a poor job with that. Then they had the one kickoff return that got out as well, close to midfield. But our defense did a good job of getting them back off the field. And ultimately, we lost the field position battle big, but because of that, which obviously didn't help. But our defense bailed us out and played outstanding.
Did you notice anything West Virginia's defense was doing with Joe Royer, 4 catches for 31 yards? Did you notice anything they were trying to do to maybe take him away from being that go-to guy?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if necessarily trying to take them away. They were doing a lot with their pressures. They were mixing it up a lot, bringing pressures from the field and boundary, and then trying to play a bunch of different coverages. And most of them were zone coverages, where you got a linebacker underneath on Royer and then maybe a safety on top. So in that regard, yes, but I think, a couple balls that we hit right over the ball on Royer. There's a couple other times there was another time we had an over route called. We gave up a pressure on the right side. He was open on that particular play, which would have been a big play. And Sorsby had to throw it away. So just didn't get it timed up with the protection and the route.
Looking for anything positive you can take away from this, do you look at the way the defense bounced back from the rough night against Colorado, and then they do a pretty good job holding a potent West Virginia offense in check?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of positives. We had 24 first downs. They had 9. I mean, we had the ball 35 minutes. They had it 25 minutes. We were 7 for 16 on third down. They were 3 for 11. I mean, there's a lot of positives, I thought, in this game. The defense held them under 250 yards. There's some really, really good stuff here. Ultimately, the score did not indicate this, and I think it really boils down to, a couple plays that went for 14 points, where we're not able to line back up and play defense. And, usually when you turn the ball over, you get them down somehow, and the defense can come back and play. And, we just didn't. I mean, there's 2 plays. They picked them up and ran them in. And, obviously those are freak kind of plays that happens. And, you think about us, we have not scored a defense or special teams touchdown since I've been here. So how many games is that? 21? And they had 2 today. So, I mean, it's really a freak play. There's 2 freak plays that happened. And, so there's kind of odd plays. I mean, I think defense played good enough to go win this game. Other than the turnovers, offense moved the football. We got to take care of the football, bottom line. I think that's one of the, obviously in college football or NFL football, turnover margin is one of the most important stats that you can win to be able to win the game, particularly if they take those for touchdowns. And that's what happened today.
Coach, you talk about the defensive effort. Obviously, you hold Nico Marshall to 156 yards, but 3 big explosive plays, 28 yards, 38 yards, and 50 yards, 2 of them which on third down. Could you just walk us through what happened on those 2 plays?
I mean, he 2 great throws down the sideline. I mean, you're sitting there watching it, and those balls were right on the money. both our corners were, right on the hip of the receiver running down the slot sideline, and he dropped it right on him. Particularly the second one, that was a beautiful throw that he hit down the left sideline. Both of them on third downs. We tried to bring some pressure on both of those, playing man behind it. Obviously, if you're playing man, it's one-on-one. You got to try to win your one-on-one matchup. But great execution by them. And we didn't stay over on top. We were underneath, but it was just a great throws that they dropped in there. Obviously we'd like for our corner to stay on top in those two scenarios, but I did think it was great execution on their part.
You weigh getting as much impact as physically possible out of a guy as electric as Evan Pryor with not using him too much.
Well, yeah, Corey Connor's a really good running back, and I feel like we got to get him his touches. He had the career high touches tonight, 25 carries. I think, but Evan is one of our most explosive players on our team. So, coming into this game plan, we thought we'd try to find some ways to try to get him the ball, and I thought we did that. We hit him on a reverse, hit him on a couple passes out of the backfield. Had another pass out of the backfield that I thought we could have. Go back and watch that film. But, you're right. Corey's got to get his carries, but we also got to, whenever Corey gets his break, all right, put him in. But today was the first time we put both of them on the field at the same time. We did that at probably 3 or 4 reps. So just probably, as we go throughout the rest of this season, trying to find ways to get him the ball, being able to put him in space. He's obviously a big play guy. He's probably, one of the guys in the country as far as having the most plays over 60 yards. He's had a ton of them. So, we got to continue to utilize him and catching the ball and running the ball.
Any other questions? Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks, guys.
How y'all doing?
You get the pick. Did it feel like that was the thing that you guys needed to snap out of it a little bit and get some momentum back?
Yeah, we just had to get a turnover and just get the ball back to the offense so they can go down there and do what they're supposed to do. So that was the big game plan when we was on the sideline, was we got to get the ball back.
What's the attitude kind of on the sideline? Defense is playing well, offense not so much. Are you guys lifting each other up? Is there stuff going on the sideline? What's going on during the
No, we lifting each other up because everybody just got a role. So we just have each other's back. Like, we brothers. So, like, regardless of what's going on, we know at the end of the day, like, we still got each other back. So we still going to have to go out there and still compete.
Logan, walk us through the interception there in the red zone. What did you see on that play? Obviously, it looked like the ball kind of just fell right in your arms there, but walk us through what you saw there.
Yeah, it was trip, slot fade. I knew it was coming from the number 2. Looked and lean, ball just came right to me. So I'm just glad I just caught the ball, had a foot in, and got the ball back to the O.
How does the mindset change going forward? You guys need one more win for bowl eligibility. You have 2 really tough games coming up.
Yeah.
Coach Sat says it's one day at a time. What's kind of the attitude in the locker room going forward?
One day at a time. At the end of the day, our goal is still in front of us. So regardless of what happened today, we still going to have to come back and get ready for the next 3 weeks. So.
Logan, is the most important part of this for the defense that you guys improve from here on to the rest of the season? Because the numbers tonight you put up are very impressive. You only allowed them 9 first downs for the whole game.
Yeah, we just continue to do it day by day. Just get better as a team, and as a defense, we just gonna come in and just keep competing, keep playing physical, and just get the ball back to the O.
As a follow-up, what do you think the defense's signature characteristic is right now?
Physicality.
Logan, as a guy that's very vocal, like, what was kind of the message in the locker room to the other guys in there?
After the game, just keep our head up. We still got 3 more games left, guaranteed. So we just got to come in every day, starting tomorrow with, and get ready for the games, like get ready for the next 3 weeks. So it's still in our reach to go out there and compete.
How were you guys able to keep things in front of you so well for most of the game? Obviously, you had the 2 over-the-top passes that were threaded perfectly, but only 6 big plays on the ground or through the air.
Just trusting what we see. Just being confident in making the plays that we just have to make, routine plays. So everybody just doing their 111 and doing their job. So that just made us just compete and just keep playing, keep everything in front of us. So that's just what was our game plan.
Any other questions for Logan? Thanks, sir.
Appreciate y'all.
Need you to pop one, and I know that was a little bit of a broken play, but could you tell, when you got it, that you had the space to get it done?
I didn't even know how much space I had till I got my head around after the catch. So when I got my head around, just space, do what I do.
Did you see X kind of give you that last little block downfield?
Hell of a block by X too. Just being the savvy guy he is. Not getting a block in the back, anything like that. That's how we score points, man. We play clean football.
Evan, that's the third touchdown for you this season of 50-plus yards. Talk about what you see there that really allows your explosiveness to be a impact in this game, essentially.
Yeah, it's not on purpose. Just kind of using my ability to the best of me. And my teammates need me to do that. So every time I get the ball, I'm gonna do the best that I can for those guys.
Last 3 games, you guys have really started to get back to running the football at a pretty good clip. What's been, from your eyes, the keys to getting back to that level?
Well, we're nothing without that O-line, and those guys have done a great job throughout these past weeks, really locking in and being the staple in our offense, whether it's pass game, run game. It all starts with the O-line. So super proud of those guys,
You guys had 4 straight 3-and-outs in the second quarter. How hard is it on the sideline? What are you guys trying to do to try to make an adjustment, to try to just get back on track on offense?
Just stay in great spirits, be positive. Obviously things aren't going our way, but shoot, we can't sit around there and pout, especially in the heat of a game. So encouraging each other, encouraging the defense encouraging us. So just things like that. We know our coaching staff is going to put us in the right position to be successful, and that's all we have to worry about is just going out there executing.
Should you get the ball more, and when you see daylight, can anybody catch you?
To your second question, no. And to your first question, I'm not counting the touches. Make the touches count. That's just how I've been seeing it ever since week 1. So whether it's 2 carries or 23 carries, I'm gonna do the best that I can, and I'm not gonna pout about it.
You guys all set? All right, good acceptance.
Appreciate it.
Questions for Dontay?
How difficult is it to be a leader in situations like this, in games like this? You've been through a lot.
Yeah, no, it was a tough game. It was a very weird game, I feel like, and we kept battling and trying to keep the guys motivated during halftime. Bartlett gave up a great speech in halftime, and I think that gave us more juice to come out there, put more points on the board, get more 3-and-outs and turnovers.
How much better do you think this defense has gotten? A little bit of a setback against Colorado, against 2 great players, but it feels like you guys have made a lot of strides.
I think we did a pretty good job today. Basically, I think it was like most of the times we was on there, they was on the other side of the field. We had to stop them from getting points, and I think we did a good job on that. And I think we communicated the best game so far this year. So hats off to my guys. We're just gonna get back in the lab and just prepare for next week.
It looked like West Virginia was doing a great job kind of taking you out of the picture there in the first half. You come alive in the second half, get the huge sack to force that third down there. Talk us through what you saw there in the second half that allowed you to get the pressure to the quarterback.
Yeah, I'll be getting on myself because I feel like I've been playing very slow in the first halves this year. So I got to talk to Coach Stu, maybe get more reps, like more consistent, not just rotating out more, just give me more hot so I can make plays or just help my team out. But second half, I'm glad I was able to make plays for my guys to get 3 and out so we can try to put points on there and take the lead. But things don't happen like that. So.
Brennan had some uncharacteristic mistakes today. As a leader, are you talking to him on the sideline, trying to keep him up, and how much trust do you have in him going forward the rest of the season?
Sorsby a great player. You know, he's still young. He's still got like 3 years left after this. So he's going to make mistakes, but it's just how we going to regroup. And I like how our team battled the whole game. So it's just not on Brennan Sorsby. It's on Dontay Corleone. I got to make plays, too, early in the first half. If I make plays, they won't score on that goal line. Like, it's just not on Sorsby. He's also on the other leaders, on myself. I have to make plays.
Frustrating knowing that, you know, a couple plays that turn the tide. How do you snap and clear from a game like that?
Yeah, obviously those mistakes can happen. I got to be better. Take care of the ball. Obviously, you know, it's the name of the game. You know, like I said, I got to be better there and watch the film back tomorrow and see what I can do better. But, I mean, you know, that was definitely the turning point in the game.
On the interception, the first play, was there any thought when there was some confusion on 4th and 1? It looked like you were trying to get Pryor outside to maybe just take a timeout and regroup and get things reset, or was it?
You never know. Obviously, you know, we just got him out there and got him lined up, and then I just got to make a smarter decision, just eat it there. Obviously, you know, they did a good job covering it all up, so just don't do anything that, you know, will result in a touchdown for them, and I did that, so that just can't happen.
Second straight game, the receivers have kind of struggled to get separation. What are you seeing that's just the passing game isn't having production, especially down the field?
I wouldn't necessarily say that just because they were playing a lot of, you know, just zone and dropping, you know, quite a few guys. So it's tough to get open sometimes in that, but I think we did a good job of finding the holes in the zone. You know, we just got to be, you know, more efficient whenever it comes down to it and find ways to move the ball.
You wouldn't be here if you weren't a competitor, and I know you have a baseball background. You've been a quarterback, a shortstop, a guy in the spotlight. In a game like this, so is it difficult to wipe away those mistakes, as important as that is?
Yeah, obviously, you know, you have no choice but to wipe them away and go back out there and try to find a way to put points on the board. But, you know, obviously, you know, it's, you know, right as soon as it happens, you know, you messed up, but you can't let it eat at you, and you just got to find a way to move on.
You obviously weren't here last year, neither was Jared Bartlett. You're watching game film all week. How much was having Jared Bartlett in that locker room with kind of what to expect? Because this was a game last year where Cincinnati really got physically dominated.
Yeah, obviously, you know, Jared was a huge help. You know, he played with a lot of those guys last year, but obviously, you know, you got a different coach calling it and a bunch of different players out there still. So it's tough as far as, like, you know, if he didn't know exactly what they were going to do or not. But, you know, he was definitely able to help, like, personnel-wise, stuff like that.
14 carries today. Was that a product of just that kind of high coverage safety looks and just a lot of stuff, just keeping things in front of you guys?
Yeah. You know, sometimes whenever everything's kind of covered up just because the shell of the defense, you just got to try to make something happen. And, you know, that's what it is. Obviously, you know, you had a couple designed quarterback runs in there, but, you know, really just, you know, trying to extend plays and make something happen.
The split moments before, right when you're getting tackled on those plays where you get stripped or you throw the ball and then it gets intercepted, is it just a split second, I'm just trying to make a play in your head when you're thinking of that? Is there anything going through your head, or is it just it all happens so fast it's hard to say?
Yeah, obviously, you know, the first fumble, I just got to tuck it away. You know, obviously he did a good job of reaching back and knocking it out. The interception was one of those, just trying to do too much, and, you know, you end up doing something that, you know, you're going to regret. But and then the last one, I was trying to throw it away over Royer's head, but ended up getting hit. So it is what it is. But I just got to move on and learn from it.
Speaking of Joe Royer, obviously just 4 targets today, 4 catches. Was West Virginia doing something that really kind of took him out of the picture there?
I don't really know. Like I've said a couple times now, they're just dropping back and trying to keep everything in front of them. But even then, we got to find a way to get him the ball. He's a really good player, so we just got to find ways that we can get him the ball.
What do you like the most about the resiliency on this team, both over the course of the season since the Pitt game and in this game itself, that shows you that you've got 1 or 2 or 3 wins left in you?
Yeah. I can promise you one thing: this team's not going to quit. We're going to come right back to it tomorrow and correct the mistakes and learn and grow from it and do it all again next week and try and go get a win. Anything can happen in this league. But yeah, obviously, we were down big and we found a way to, scratch and claw back. And, I think that speaks to the resilience of this team, like you said. But we just got to find a way to finish it and close the door.
Evan Pryor had the 80-yard touchdown today. Talk about his ability to just break out those explosive plays.
Yeah. Anytime he touches the ball, there's a good chance that it's going to go the distance. But also want to shout out Xavier for that big-time block that he made to free up Evan down the sideline too. I think, we're always, there's always times where you're going to stall out, pretty much offenses around the country. But we just got to find a way to keep it going throughout the game, man, because we do have a bunch of talent on this offense and we can put up a lot of points.
In the last 2 weeks, last 2 games, we've seen you guys down big in the second half. You guys battle back and give yourselves a chance to tie or win the game. What do you think is the next step towards completing the comeback or not getting in those big deficits in the second half?
Yeah, like I just said, just being more consistent throughout the game and then, also just, it sounds simple, but just don't get stopped whenever, we go score twice and then you get stopped or you have a turnover that results in a touchdown for them. Like, that just can't happen if you want to win the game. So just find ways to keep moving the chains and go finish that drive and finish the game.
All right. Thanks, Brendan.
Thank you all.